Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. You are now listening to That Infernal Noise podcast, part of the Mental Health News Radio Network. Fuck yeah. Welcome back, everyone. There's no big hiatus. I know we're going to get better at this. we have to. Just with the holidays and everything, we had to take a break, and then we had... because the kids, were home, and then we had a winter weather thing here and then.
I mean, people not 10 miles from us had a lot of it.
Yeah. We're constantly...
We're on the fucking outskirts. It sucked.
We're constantly on the outskirts of big storms and stuff like that, so...
Like, we took the kids outside whenever it was heavy snowing, and... Logan was in Crocs and Noe was in a t-shirt.
So there was still snow and there was still cold, but
it wasn't that cold.
They went back on a Tuesday.
Monday they were out of school because it was still part of the Christmas break.
Right.
Tuesday they went back. Wednesday they were in school, and we got notification that because of winter weather, they were not going to have school Thursday and Friday.
So they had a whopping 2 days of school. And then we had almost no winter weather where we live.
And then there's the chance of it this next week.
But hopefully it's towards the weekend.
And then the following week, they're off on Monday because of MLK Day.
Oh, yeah. Okay. That's...
For sure.
Yeah. Wow. This has been freaking crazy. So it's been kind of crazy, and our schedule has been, just kind of crazy. So
I haven't been able to do anything.
That is very fair.
Well, it feels like that.
Yeah.
We're still getting shit accomplished, but it's a motherfucker.
Do you want to turn... Do we need to turn that off, or do you want to do this after?
No, because I want to know what the fuck is going on.
Yeah, but you're paying attention to that because I see you cut over.
I fucking look everywhere but you whenever we're recording in general. At least this time, it's not autism. I'm just being honest, because I look at the screens constantly, too.
That's fair.
You just hyper aware of it because you know there's a game on right now.
Yes.
There is literally no difference. Literally none. You can go back and watch the other ones, and you can see me doing the exact same thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not turning it off, so...
I'm joking.
It's either we record with this one on, or we record with the one later on. It's playoff football. I'm sorry.
That's fair.
I've always been a big football fan, and I don't see that changing anytime soon.
No, I don't...
Especially now that I'm into football podcasts, but they're not really football podcasts.
They're podcasts done by football people.
Yeah, football people that I grew up watching and I fucking love. So,
very fair.
Why are you staring at me like that?
Our dogs are weird. We have the weirdest dogs. That one's asleep.
It's not terribly surprising.
So with now that... Hopefully we'll have some... I don't like the Gregorian calendar. It sucks. Sorry, I've been talking about this a lot lately. It's been my soapbox for a second. And I do mean for a second. It's just been like a couple weeks.
Since New Year's.
Because it's bullshit. They want us to get started. And everything... The world is asleep. Nature is asleep. But...
Well, that depends on which part of the world you're in. Because it's summer some places in the world right now. So it's really dependent on that. That's why I don't think it necessarily matters.
That's fair.
Because if you're following the pagan calendar...
Okay, here in the States.
It's different. There's different times of year for different parts of the world.
That's fair. So you would have to find the equivalent dates to the other part of the world.
Yeah, that's why I don't think it really matters, per se.
That's fair.
Like, I do know there's something to the celebrations of all the stuff here, but that
It
might
just,
be different
there,
elsewhere.
yeah, and anywhere else. That's fair. She's so weird. So now that the kids are maybe going back to school and we can kind of get back into a regular thing. And I know we've talked about our New Year's and how we celebrate and our intentions. And so what are some of the things that you want to do this coming up year?
I mean, I'm focusing on myself. Like, that's the whole thing. And we've already talked about that. Like, I don't care about anything outside of this house anymore.
That's fair.
And I mean that in the nicest way possible. I can't worry about other shit. I can only worry about this and what I want to do and what I want to accomplish and the books that I want to read, the shows that I want to watch. Like, I don't care about everybody else's opinions about anything anymore.
That's fair.
Because it's wrong. They're wrong. Like, there's no other way to say it. Like, for me, they're wrong. So it really doesn't matter what they are.
Oh, anyone else's opinions. Oh, okay.
And everybody's entitled to their opinion, obviously.
Well, yeah.
Because I'm entitled to my opinion, but I'm not, because that's a whole nother thing. But that's just the way I feel now.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't care. If you're on my page, cool. If not, whatever.
That's fair. Anything that you want to accomplish? I mean, outside of just focusing on yourself, anything you want to accomplish or...
It's a podcasting, it's a writing, it's spending more time with the kids like we did, like Friday.
Friday was fun.
You know, because we try to wait and do things together whenever, like, Kaylee's here or...
When we have more of the kids.
Whenever we do have some time with Chris, even though he's working all the time, like, we try to do things then, but we can't wait for those moments, especially now that the other two are adults.
Yeah,
Like,
that's fair.
That's not fair to the little ones.
It's not. Because, I mean,
they're not even that fucking little anymore.
They're not. They're not at all. It was a lot of fun. We went out to dinner with them, and then we had them introduce us to their music.
That was your idea. I'm not taking credit for that. We
thought,
started talking about music, which, go fucking figure, in our family.
Yeah, and I thought it would be a cool idea because we had a stop that we had to make on the way home after dinner, and I figured, hey, we listen to, like, if the kids are in the car with me, they listen to what I'm listening to. If they're in the car with you, they listen to what you listen to. So I was like, hey, well, how about you guys pick a song or two that you guys want to show us about your taste in music or what you normally listen to. And that was really fun. And then
once we got home, we did it for like a fucking hour after that while we were putting up all the Christmas decorations, or taking down all the Christmas decorations.
It parlayed into something bigger, and we put it on the TV, and it was a thing, and they went back and forth sharing songs, and it was a lot of fun.
And that's how our family's always bonded, is like over music.
Yeah.
Oddly enough.
Yeah. Music, comedy, and movies, I would say.
Nerdy shit. Anime.
Yeah. But it's like... It's hard to do those things because I feel that maybe we feel bad that we're doing things without our other kids.
No, that's 100% what it is.
So...
Because it's partially that, and it's partially, well, I mean, we did do stuff like that with the older two, obviously, but I feel like it's going to be one of those things where, well, they're getting to do this, and we didn't, like, you know what I mean? And we can't worry about that because we were different fucking people then. I understand that, but...
One, we were different people, and two, we were in a different tax bracket then, too. You were the only one working, and you were not making the amount that you make now. So we didn't have the money to do certain things either.
Well, it's not even that. It's just we didn't parent the same. That's what I
No.
mean.
Oh,
I don't give a
that
fuck about
too.
that. I still made shit happen whenever it
That's
came
fair.
down to it.
That's fair.
So that I don't consider that the same thing.
Yeah, but I mean, we already get stuff like that, though.
Rightfully so, but
Yeah,
it
and
just,
I'm not.
I think that's what it is. I think we worry more about shit like that than
Yeah,
the other side of it.
but I mean, we still have to do those things, though.
No, and that's what I realized on Friday is like we need to spend more time doing things like that.
Yeah.
And like we make sure that we're eating dinner with them every single night.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like typically we watch something as a family,
Yeah,
except on Mondays.
yeah. Well, it depends on the day, because sometimes we will watch. I'm gonna thump him in his eyeball. Well, it depends on the day, because it could be Mondays that you're like, no, we're watching wrestling, or it could be Wednesdays. It depends on what is happening.
Yeah, but I don't. The only reason that I've been so ardent about Mondays is because it was leading into the new shit.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. And that's,
But I mean, I honestly don't give a fuck anymore. I can watch shit later.
yeah,
It
and that's
doesn't
where
bother
I
me.
was
And
going
I'm
with
not
that.
as rigid about it now.
Right, that's where I was going with that. I was just going to say it depends on what the storyline is, what day of the week. Like, it depends.
If it's leading into a pay-per-view or
Yeah,
something,
or if
whatever.
it's at
or
the-
like they just debuted on Netflix, so that was a big
Kind of
deal.
wanted to watch that one live, and yeah.
Because I don't want to get shit spoiled in those
And that's-
situations, and I follow so much shit like that it's inevitable.
Yeah, that's why I'm glad that I took a big step back from like social media, because I don't get a lot of things spoiled for me.
No, I get fucking Google notifications about shit too. So even if I'm not on social media, I'll see shit. That's why I know there's a way to turn it off. I just
Yeah, that's another thing that I'm going to be doing this year, is like restricting even more like what I see like notification wise and things like that, because my phone is not that I'm, because if you're showing me something, I have no anxiety, or I don't struggle with, like, if you're wanting me to show, I don't have a problem setting my phone down and focusing on, because I know that is phone addiction, internet addiction, like all like electronic addiction. That is a very real thing, and it's hard because I used to be on social media like all the time, and now I'm just like, it's not that I have no time for it. I don't want to see a lot of things on there, so I have kind of like a baseball rule. And I need to like restrict that even more, because it's like after the third negative thing that I see, it's like, okay, I'm done. But maybe it's like a 2-strike rule now or something like that, because it's not only do I not want to ingest negative content of any kind, just because there's no point. There's so many other things I could be doing with my time than sitting with my phone. And I do struggle with that still. I play games for money, like I collect points, and so that is something that, okay, but I still don't need to do that all the time. There's so many other things that I want to get accomplished this year, and if I don't utilize my time wisely, I fear that it'll be just like every other year, and I don't get the things done, or start, or at least try to get those wheels turning of certain habits I want to have, or, whatever it is. So I think that'll be a big thing, because the world, I don't like it out there.
that's putting it fucking mildly.
Because I know that we try to share, like, if we repost things.
I'm not
or
reposting
if
any
we-
negative shit
Yeah.
or anything like that.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna
It's
say,
very
that-
much where I'm at in my mindset. And if I'm in a negative mindset, I'm not resharing all that shit.
Oh yeah. You see what you see, you absorb what you absorb, and you keep scrolling. I was gonna say you, but you and I both, the things that we repost or share are usually things that are very positive, uplifting.
There's just too much negative shit, and I'm not adding to it. I'm not perpetuating it anymore.
And I would say the only like negative that I share is pointing out bullshit.
That's not the same thing.
I agree. But there would be some people.
Yeah, because they're in the bullshit. That's a big difference. It's like, I'm not sharing it for that.
Yeah, it's to raise awareness, not to attack.
Yeah, but if it's an attack to you, then
You need to start asking yourself, why is that an attack to me?
like it's as simple as that.
Yeah. I think that, I don't know.
Because I whenever I see things that trigger me, I try to figure out, why does that trigger me? Mm-hmm. Why is this upsetting me? And it's like, oh, it's because of whatever.
Yeah. And most of the time that shit that bothers me, it's like, oh, that's very apparent why that's bothering you or why that's bothering me. You know, things like that. So, I think this year is going to be, I feel different. And I started feeling different before the new year. I still feel a sense of motivation that I don't usually feel.
Yeah, that's all I've been to.
So I think that hopefully this year is a different year. And that I think that part of why I don't do things is because I'm scared to do things alone. So like if I go walk out on the treadmill, I'm scared that what I do is going to irritate or inconvenience other people.
You're the
Or
only one that thinks
oh,
that.
I know. But in like growing up, I couldn't necessarily do things because
Like, I don't give a shit. In the middle of the day, I'm like, hey, I'm going to go meditate. It's not a, can I go meditate? It's,
Yeah.
I'm going to go meditate.
Yeah.
I'm just letting you know. Like,
yeah. But it's
man, if it causes a problem, that's on you, not me. Like, and
Right.
there's no other way to look at it.
Right.
You know, I know it sounds shitty, but that's just what it is. I feel like I need to do this right now. I'm going to do it. So,
yeah. And we've talked about this before where it's like I need to start just doing instead of not necessarily waiting for someone to tell me to do it, because it's not that. I'm scared that I'm going to miss out on time, or I should be doing something else, or I should be, I don't know.
why are you being like that right now? It's okay. Just lay down and relax.
Being a whiny asshole. But like, I know that I don't know why it causes anxiety in me to be like, hey, I feel like I want to go outside for a walk. I don't want to walk on the treadmill. I don't want to, hey, I'm going to go on a walk outside. I don't know why that causes me anxiety to be like, that's going to be a thing I'm going to do. Even though I did it before. I used to go walk by myself outside. I used to walk from here. I used to do almost a 5K every day. I used to walk up. I don't know why it causes me anxiety now, or that I'm doing something wrong. Maybe because it's me saying that I want to do. I don't know. It's something
Maybe.
more shit that I need to figure out about myself. Because I don't want this year to be like last year or the previous year. You know, I don't want to keep doing, I want to be someone who not progresses leaps and bounds all year, but I am my biggest competition. I don't feel I'm in, and I don't know if this is going to sound shitty. It might be to somebody.
Most
I don't know.
people take what we say shittily anyway, so it really doesn't matter.
But I don't feel like I'm in competition with anyone else. And I don't mean
we
that.
weren't to begin with.
Yeah.
It's just that's how we're made to feel.
Right.
and we do it because that's what we're supposed to do, quote unquote, whenever we're younger. Like well, that person is getting these grades and this person is doing this in athletics and da da da. Like, so
Right.
what difference does it make? And it's just that added pressure that is put on us as kids, and then it perpetuates into our friendships and like,
Right.
well, I did this. And I'm like, good? Like, congratulations?
Right.
What are you looking for right now?
That kind of goes, it's in the same vein of, I don't understand. It's asinine to have 18-year-olds figure out their life and be like, what do you want to do for the rest of your life?
That created so much anxiety with Chris and Kaylee whenever
Yeah.
they were getting close to graduation.
And it's like, there's no point in doing that because life happens. Oh, and that's, I think that's why, I don't know. I think that's why I have never really pushed college on the kids because life happens.
Like, yeah, if you want to go to college, fucking, we'll figure it out. But it's not the end all be all.
No.
And everybody acts like, well, not everybody, but like
A lot of people
well-to-do act like that's what it
End all
is.
be
It's
all.
like, okay, let's look at the statistics of how many people get a degree in something and end up not using that degree for fucking anything.
It is.
And then factor in the hundreds of thousands of dollars that went into it. And then they have to find employment in another career altogether. Like, what is the point of that? And there are some people that know, I want to be an engineer. I want to do this and da-da-da-da. And that is their life path the entire time.
Yeah.
And that's great. But outside of those
are the
outliers. That's not the atypical.
Right. And it's
And I've seen it happen so many times with so many people. Even the people that are in high finance or what the fuck ever,
Right.
they went to college for something completely fucking different.
right. I have
And
zero
are
college
not
degree.
using it. Yeah. It's like, what the fuck was the point of that? But you're still preaching college on the next generation? Like, you see that there's, like, you experience that the system is flawed. And I'm not saying it doesn't work for people. Like, it does possibly create the discipline and, you know, you create the interpersonal relationships and shit like that.
Networking, things like that.
Okay, fine. I see that part of it, but you can do that outside
Everywhere
of it.
else.
Like, it doesn't matter if you went to the same alma mater anymore.
Yeah, we have the
It
internet.
used to be a thing.
Yes.
But it's not. It literally is not anymore. Nobody
No.
gives a shit.
We have the internet now. We are literally connected to literally anyone else who has access to the
The
internet.
only time that matters is football. Like, that's literally it. Outside of that, nobody cares. Nobody cares that you went to UT and they went to OU or any kind of shit like that. Like,
No, it's sports, but specifically football. Yeah.
yeah, like that is. Nobody cares outside of that. Nobody's going to start a fight with somebody because, oh, you went to UT, I went to OU, fuck you. Like,
Yeah.
that doesn't happen unless you're drunk at a football game.
That's
And then it's just
fair.
like, well, fuck you. Well, fuck you.
Yeah, sports bring out the worst in people when it comes to.
That's why I'm glad I don't share it with anybody anymore.
Yeah.
You know, we sit down and watch game, football, baseball, basketball,
Yeah.
whatever, like, and I just enjoy it now.
Yes.
Because it's not like, oh, well, they're not doing this. Like, whatever. Okay, fine. Like, I know I was guilty of it too, but I was guilty of it because that's what I thought people did.
Yeah, you thought you had to be
Insta-
that because
like,
you were a dude.
I could
and-
just enjoy the shit.
game.
Like, I enjoy watching play. I don't know everything about every single thing.
Yeah.
I don't know every single player. I don't keep up with Sports Center and all
Well,
that shit
that-
because it's just too time consuming.
Well, that too, but that and it used to ruin your day.
Yeah. Like,
Your
I would
whole
get
day.
so emotionally involved in this shit. And it just like the Cowboys would lose, and the next day on that following Monday,
Depressed.
I'd be in a depressive mood.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck is the point of that?
Yeah.
Like,
And-
I'm not on that fucking team.
No.
It'd be different if you're like directly involved.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I still wear my jersey and shit like that, but I fucking love my jersey. Like,
Yeah.
I've been a football fan
Your whole life.
literally my whole life.
Yeah.
Like, so what?
Yeah.
But it doesn't change anything for me anymore.
That's good. I'm
Like, I don't even scare the kids anymore, which is surprising.
yes. Because we still get like excited about certain plays or certain things like that, but you don't get like as aggro. Hey, you don't get as aggro like for those plays because you would like get. It was like
It was the atypical
flipping
shit.
table.
No. I was never that dude.
Hold on. Can I finish my
understand
sentence?
that, but I am not going to be accused of that.
Can I finish my sentence first?
I was never that bad. I was the yeller. I was the one to fuck yes and like whatever. I'm not going to have that associated with me. I'm just not.
I was just going to say that kind of energy, and I was going to say that obviously you never actually flipped tables, but it was that aggro energy from it. So if you would have let me finish I'm not sentence,
letting that be said.
If you would have let me finish my sentence, it would have been just fine but
it's not that same energy. That's the thing. It never was. I was never throwing shit. I was never punching my TV or flipping tables and shit like that. That's my point. I'm not being associated with that because that was never the case.
No, but it was a very aggressive kind of energy to it. And that's where I was going with it. Not that you actually flip tables. And I was going to say actively that no, you never flipped a table. Not even a TV tray. So no, you weren't that
There's very
bad,
few times that I start throwing shit. Like, even in my life in general.
Yeah, I don't...
The one time that comes to mind is the day I walked in and Mom was dead. Like, I threw her fucking chair because I was pissed.
Yeah, and you didn't even really throw it. You picked it up and you slammed it down.
But
yeah, no. Okay, let me... You were... It was
I
an
just
aggro
want credit
vibe,
where credit is due, and I was never that bad.
And I was going to say that you never actually flipped anything, but there was a very aggro energy when it came to...
Which I got from my grandma.
Oddly enough, yes. Which is hilarious. But... hey, we get what we get from...
I love that the kids don't believe that, by the way.
Yeah.
Like, they have never believed that I got that from grandma.
Because she was just this little...
She was, but she was also into sports.
And I've never heard her. I never heard it either.
We never watched football games with her. Like, I grew up in the same house where, like, the game would be on Sunday, and I'd be in my room, and I could hear her fucking yelling. Or, like, during the week, if there was a baseball game on or whatever, like, I could hear her yelling at the TV.
That's hilarious. That's great, though.
And that's where I got it from.
No, and baseball. Okay. I told you this last night. We are making it to a game this year. The Rangers won a whole ass pennant. We didn't go. Well, this past season they didn't do fuck all, but that's fine. That's fine. That's coming off a win. That's fine. It's a rebuilding year. They were chillaxing.
That's a nice way to put it.
But they had a whole like new ballpark put up and like a whole new area put up, and we haven't been to a game.
We haven't had the means to do it. We haven't had the time to do it. You know, like we were trying to make a game every season, but that didn't work out.
Yeah, no. But we have to this year. I don't know why. We just do. Or at least try to.
I mean, honestly, the best chance we have of going is AEW.
I want to go for a game.
I'm not arguing that, but realistically, have we been to more sporting events or more wrestling events since we've been together?
Oh, wrestling.
Exactly. That's why I'm saying, like, there's a better chance that it's going to be for that.
I want to make All In as well.
I do too. Like, I've been wanting to go to an AEW pay-per-view since before it was AEW.
Yeah. And if we could have, if the stars would have fucking aligned, we would have been in Chicago that first year. We would have been in Chicago that first year. Hands down. Hands down.
But it didn't work out that way.
Yeah.
So now it's in my backyard, so fuck it.
And that's another thing. That's another reason why I feel that this year has to be the year that at least some things start changing. Like,
Things have already changed.
And yes. But I mean, like,
in the past year, in the past fucking month even. Like, realistically.
That's fair.
And I'm giving credit where credit is due in that. Like, it has changed, and my mindset has changed.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of things that I thought I was going to hold on to, I'm not anymore. Because I was holding on to a lot of shit, and now it's just like, come see, come saw, like, whatever.
Yeah.
It makes no difference to me.
Agreed.
If it's not directly affecting me, and very little directly affects me anymore, and I thought more shit directly affected me.
It doesn't.
It really doesn't. It has nothing to do with me. It changes my life zero day to day. And those are the things that actually affect me. The things that affect my life day to day. You, the kids, that's it.
That's it.
My job, obviously.
Well,
but
yeah.
even then, it's like that can be changed and replaced. I'm not holding on to anything anymore.
Yeah. That's
Especially whenever it comes to shit like that, because just as much as I'm replaceable anywhere, that job's replaceable. Like, it doesn't matter. I could get another job. My resume speaks for itself. Like, I'm good at what the fuck I do. I'm confident in my abilities now. So, whatever.
Yeah.
I can lose my job and it doesn't break me.
Yeah.
Whenever I lost my job in fucking March, everybody was afraid that I was going to fucking snap.
It was rough. It was a rough time. That was just a rough
And I
time.
did not give a fuck about it.
Because we were...
I was glad that I got fucking fired, because I should have left that job long before that time.
Very fair. But I was glad it happened too.
Outside of the financial aspect
Outside
of it,
of...
obviously.
But
I mean, anybody would have that thought.
Well, yeah, because that's a scary time. We have kids and things like that. But I knew that I would be able to take care of
You held
this.
it down. You made it fucking work, so I could figure my shit out.
I needed you to have that time. And if you needed that time, but from my standpoint...
Well, I told you before Mom died. I told you whenever Grandma died. I am going to need you to keep me in fucking check, because I'm not going to know what is right and fucking wrong for me to do.
And after you got let go, I flat out told you, don't look, just chill, because...
And it wasn't chilling. It was me like working
to,
through shit and
yes.
sitting with myself and sitting with my thoughts and figuring out who I was as a person.
It was barely 3 months after Mom had passed that you got let go. And I had just been officially signed.
Like, you moved from temp
to perm.
Yeah.
The same day. The day I technically started was the day that you got let go.
Mm-hmm.
And I needed you to have that time. I needed my
I
husband.
needed to have that fucking time, and I didn't.
I needed my husband.
I wasn't allowing myself to do fucking anything besides work, because that's all I knew to do.
Yeah.
I would throw myself into work, and even then I didn't give a shit. I was doing it half-assed at best, because I didn't care about the job.
Yeah. It was, you would sit and watch, you would do the work, but it was, I'm going to focus on watching what I'm watching, or playing my game on my phone, or doom scrolling, or whatever the case is.
Just because it was mindless bullshit. Like, the work was mindless bullshit.
That,
and everybody was constantly...
You had to jump from one foot to the other
every
day.
For no goddamn reason.
Every single day.
And
all
it's just
day.
like, no, I'm tired of dealing with perpetual children. Yeah. And you have to answer for all this shit whenever other people don't. And it's just like, no. I was so fucking over it.
Yeah.
I was glad I got let go.
Yeah. And I'm so glad that you did. Obviously, again, outside of the financial standpoint of it, but I wasn't even
and
really
even
worried
then,
about
like, that
shit
wasn't that bad.
I was not worried. Because
like we've always had a knack for making it work in those situations, and like I'm not doubting the shit anymore.
But I was so super scared of losing you. And you losing it. Whatever it was. Because I don't know that, I don't know where you are right now if that time hadn't been if you hadn't taken that time. I don't know where you are mentally today.
I would have been 6 months back easily. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it, and I'm not stellar by any stretch of the imagination now, but I can deal with it.
Yeah.
I know how to balance it. I know the things that I can lean into.
Yeah.
And it took me time to figure that shit out. You know, it was like, because I didn't start journaling immediately. I didn't start meditating immediately. I didn't start, well, the praying, that was
immediate. I think
that was almost instantaneous.
I think you started journaling relatively soon after Mom.
No, it was after I lost my job.
Was?
It was.
I thought it was. I thought you started in
I want to say, hold on.
I thought you were in like the end of January that you had started. See, my memory is all...
I can tell you exactly what day it was.
You might want to lower your mic again.
Yeah. 4/7.
No way!
It was April. So I lost my job in March, and then I started journaling in April.
So it was a couple
I mean,
weeks.
I've always like written shit off and on,
yeah,
stuff like that. But as far as like consistently daily journaling, that didn't start until April. Wow. Yeah, it feels like way fucking longer than that.
That's still something though, because it's January and you're still doing it.
There was a couple of like literally a handful of days that I missed here and there, but
you usually catch
no,
up.
I didn't. I wasn't before. There is a handful of days missing, but since then I have made it a point to catch up to where like I might not necessarily do it at night, and I really don't like journaling at night because my brain's already like shut down mode. So 9 times out of 10 I'll write in the morning for the day before, and it also gives me
time to reflect,
a more reflective state instead of getting like, if something's bothering me, I don't get emotionally heightened again.
So it's not in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
That's fair.
I literally get to sleep on it. And then I also realize what about the day was actually important. You know what I mean? Like, and I didn't cognitively do that. I'm just talking about it. Like, I realized that that's what I was doing.
I mean, it's a good practice. I mean, and
it's been a saving grace of mine, honestly, because like I've always liked writing. I've always gotten shit for liking writing. It's another fucking thing.
I like that you are as verbose and loquacious as you are. I love it. I like listening to you talk.
No, yeah, and literally everybody that's been close to me has said that at one point, and then, oh, well, what, you gonna go fucking write a song about it? Oh, you gonna write, like,
yeah,
it turned into that. It's just like,
you know me, I'm not a Swiftie, but girl has got some shit in there. I saw a small clip of her one day. It was like, oh, what, are you mad that I'm in my house that I paid for with the songs that I wrote?
And that's the thing. Like, it never got that far with me, honestly, but it's just like, yeah, I'm going to go fucking write about it. You know why? Because it's my fucking therapy.
And
it helps the thought not just mull over and over and over again until it turns into something fucking else.
I saw a video, and it was like a round table of like very famous people. And there were other people at this table that I knew, but it was Jim Carrey speaking.
Oh, I know which one you're talking about.
And he was talking about
there were some fucking hitters on that one.
There was, and I can't for the life of me.
I can't remember either, but I remember seeing it.
But he was talking about how artists or people who like creatives, that when they are injured emotionally, mentally, physically, that the vast majority of them try to make it into something else. Writing, make it into poetry, make it into a song, make it into a painting. And he was saying that he himself, he got really injured. I don't know on a emotional or physical level, but he actually went somewhere and did nothing but paint the whole time he was there because he was going through some shit. And he was saying that that's why he's an actor, that he is broken in so many pieces, that acting gives him the ability to reconfigure those pieces into healing and into
positive.
Something else.
Yeah. That's what I've done my entire life. Like,
so I don't
like that I turn into a ball of nerves and have all this anxiety and all this shit because of the trauma and all that bullshit. I fucking hate it, actually. But what I've always tried to do is pour it into something else and not in a displacing way, but in a...
I'm going to put this hurt somewhere.
Like we've talked about on the podcast, how I grew up. And I'm not a fan of the shit that I was told and the things that were perpetuated onto me and like all of that shit.
Right.
I've taken that, and before I cognitively knew what I was doing, I did the exact opposite to the kids under me. You know, I've always tried to be there for Vic and Sis and Rach and Katie, and now that the three of us have kids,
to be there for
I'm
their
trying
kids.
to do that for them.
Yeah.
And let them be themselves and not have to pretend to be something that they're not, or talk in hushed tones and like all of that shit. Because
Masking.
that's what I had
no one
to
has
do.
to mask around you.
Exactly. And I've turned all of that pain and all of that shit that I had to deal with into something positive for the kids in our family. I would like to think.
Right.
I don't know. I mean, jury's still out, but just based on what I see and how certain kids light up, it's not just the kids in our family. Like, it's other kids that grew up around us.
Yeah.
That they'll reach out and it's still, hey, Uncle Robert, da, 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 and just that,
is.
nothing makes me happier than that, because
Yeah.
that means I am doing the thing that I thought I was doing.
Yeah.
Like, I
You're the
am
uncle.
giving them their room to be themselves with at least one adult.
Right.
And they're adults now too, so it's not like...
Yeah.
But
and that's what I, and likewise, you have things that you didn't like. I like being there for people because I had no one. I only had my mother. I literally had no other relatives that, like, she was with a woman when I was growing up. So for a few years, I had a family. I had aunts and uncles and cousins and this and that and the other. But once they break up,
it's gone.
and I did go back and visit every once in a while, or every summer up until a certain age. And then that stops because the other woman doesn't like that I'm growing up, or that,
You are making your own decisions. You don't fall in line with their
whatever
ideals
yes.
or whatever.
So I also enjoy being that, because I know for a fact that if shit hits the fan, I know who's getting a phone call, because I've been on the receiving end of those phone calls. And Nisha,
Cool.
what is it, baby?
We got this.
I'll get this figured out for you. For our kid, obviously for our kids. Hey, Mom, Dad, whichever one
Shit went down. This is what's going on.
Can I get some help?
Cool.
Okay.
Da 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 da. Like, that's just what it is. Like, I try actively to be that person.
Yeah.
Because in those situations where I felt something immediate needed to be done and I didn't know what the fuck to do, I had to sit and wait. And I've had to do that my entire life, even as an adult.
Same.
And that irks me because it's I'll get to it when I get to it. And like, no.
Why am I
Whenever
not
it comes
important for it
to
to be
my
right now?
children, the children in my family,
It's urgent.
they have a sense of urgency in their voice. They are freaking out right now. I need to get this handled as quickly as possible. Like, what was it? Chris had a blown fucking tire or whatever the fuck it was that one time. He called me because he was over here.
Oh, yeah.
Cool. I'm on my way.
Or like the shit with his car when I had to go get him and we had to take his car to the mechanic, and then this, that, back and forth. I have no problem doing that for the children.
I drop everything for the kids.
Yeah.
I don't drop everything for the elders.
No.
Because that's not my fucking problem.
No.
And it's not even saying that I wouldn't. It's just I have my own feelings about shit like that.
And it would depend on who's calling.
Honestly, yeah. Because like whenever Mom called, okay, cool. What's going on? Da 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 da. Okay, cool. Give me
Details.
10, 15 minutes. I'll get my shit together and we'll go get you.
Yeah.
And that's literally how it went down.
Yeah.
Because she was actively trying to take care of the shit she needed to take care of, health-wise, whatever it was.
Yeah, and she also got really good at telling us, hey, I scheduled an appointment for blah, 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 blah. Can I get some help?
Yeah, and that's all we ever wanted.
Yeah.
Like, I don't like last-minute shit because there's so much other stuff going on.
Because we
plan. Like, we're very meticulous in that aspect, and I'm sure that irks a lot of fucking people. Probably irks our fucking kids.
I don't care.
But it's just like, no.
I need at
I
least,
want to plan out as much as we can because I know there's going to be shit that we can't.
I need a rough draft.
Yeah.
I need at least a rough draft, a time. Give me a ballpark. I don't need every single detail of I just need, hey, it's going to be around noon. It's going to be on this day. It's going to be, just so I can get
with
a
our kids,
feel.
it's a little bit different because we need to know who you're hanging out with, whatever
Or,
the fuck.
yeah.
But
or if it's
in general,
school-related,
it's very simple. It's just, I have this thing on this day at this time.
Right.
Cool. I can plan around that.
Yeah. But I don't... Sorry, my whole system just went into I need to plan everything because it's so uncomfortable for me. And I'm telling you, I should probably get tested for a lot of things. I don't know if I'm going to.
I don't think you need to.
I don't. Yeah.
I really don't because you got it.
Yeah.
Like whatever you think you got, you probably got.
Probably.
Let's just be real about it.
Probably. I need to read some more books and do some
like,
more research.
Do some research. Like that'll help. Trust me.
But yeah, scheduling is a huge thing. Sorry.
Yeah, the fact that you just had a visceral reaction should tell you something.
I don't want to. I need a timeline. Sorry.
That way.
So especially when it comes to just helping in general, yes, we are here to help. And but planning, emergencies are going to happen. Yes, we're going to get those phone calls, but planning is
and I think
mitigates
because of all the planning and shit that we do. Whenever the crazy unplanned shit happens,
it's easier to
we just fucking okay, cool, blah 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 blah. Let's do this. Kaylee.
Which part?
The last time, whenever she went into the hospital.
Oh yeah.
It's just like, okay, this is going on. Take her, do this, da 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 da. Keep me posted.
Yeah.
And we got all of that done rather as quickly as we could get it done.
We have been looked at as like probably sticks in the mud at some point because we are
not probably. There's no probably about it. None.
We've been called sticks in the mud.
Well, no, we haven't. It's just people don't like saying shit like that to us. Like, okay, fine. But
behind our backs, we've been
100%.
Behind our backs, things have been probably said, and I'm gonna say probably just
because we don't know, but I know. I know a lot of shit that people don't realize that I know. So whatever.
Yeah, we know. Well, we've been knowing you've been talking shit. It's okay. Keep talking. Anyway, but I am 100% okay with people looking at me that way because I get
they're going to look at you that way
taken
for
care of.
whatever reason anyway. That's how I look at it now. Is like if they're going to talk shit about anything, they're going to talk shit about anything they can. You know, so it's just like fuck it, whatever.
I don't know. I am completely comfortable and 100% okay with being the responsible one, the dependable one. I used to hate it because I always felt alone. And like before we got together, it felt lonely because it's like, I have to clean up this motherfucker's mess again. I have to do this again.
And that's how I
have
felt
no one else to do this with.
While I was always the mess too. And how many times did I mention that? Like, when the fuck did I become the voice of reason in this bullshit?
Just the other day.
Well, no, I mean, like, whenever I was in it.
That's fair.
Like, I would still say it then.
Yes.
Like, why the fuck am I the leader of this gaggle of squawking twats? Like, what the fuck is going on? Of which I am a member of. So, I'm not throwing shade.
Well,
but I was the reasonable one. And I was batshit fucking crazy.
To be fair, because of who you were, not who you are, who you were at times, I just kept my mouth shut and be like, I'm going to listen to you because I don't want to fight and I'm not going to argue about...
Like, no, just go this way, I'm telling you. Like, why are you listening to the drunk motherfucker giving directions?
Because it would have started
every
a whole
single
thing.
One of y'all motherfuckers did that shit too. I'm not arguing that. It's just like, no, the thing to do in that situation, because I've had to deal with that from other people. Like, okay, cool. and just go the way that I was going to go because I know where the fuck I'm going. You're drunk. I'm sober. Fuck off. And because the drunk person's not going to fucking notice.
Not you.
No, I didn't pay. As much as y'all thought I was paying attention to shit, I was literally just trying to hold my shit together. I'm like, okay, don't fall over. Like, literally, that was the extent of it.
I believe it.
Tell me I'm fucking wrong. How many times did you see me standing there and having to lock eyes with people so I didn't fucking, like, just go?
Okay, I know if I'm looking at them in the eyes, I'm standing up straight.
Mm-hmm. But then the body was still fucking going. Yeah, you saw it fucking happening.
I did. I can laugh about it now, and I'm so thankful I can laugh about it now. Because those were hard, horrible times. Thank you for listening to this week's episode. If you like this episode, or know someone who would, please help us grow the show by liking, subscribing, and sharing. Keep up with all episodes on Buzzsprout or anywhere else you get your podcasts.